Some little birdie told me a few days ago that Sony is killing off LittleBigPlanet 3. This officially marks the end of the LittleBigPlanet franchise. I honestly believe this is one of the most disappointing things I've experienced within my short life on this planet. These games have made so many memories for tons of people, and now they're just killing them off. I haven't played the original PS3 game in close to 14 years at this point, so I thought, well, Sony's killing this franchise, so maybe I should take a look down memory lane and figure out just what exactly made this game so great, and a really big part of my childhood. I couldn't find them in my closet, but I remember having a few Sackboy plushies when I was just a young child. I'll see if I can find a picture of them and put them here. If so, well, here's what they look like. Looks a little stupid, am I right? If you think it stopped at that, well, you'd be dead wrong. I have way too much DLC for these games. Before my family knew to enable this little thing called parental controls, one day I randomly decided it was a good idea to spend some of their hard-earned money on some of this game's DLC. They weren't really happy when they found out about it, that's for sure. Alright, without further ado, I'm gonna grab my really old controller that's thumbsticks are being held together by sheer happenstance, and let's move on to the game. The opening to this game just takes me back. Not only does the British guy's voice here really make me feel relaxed, but this is just a damn good intro to a game mainly focused on creativity and imagination at its forefront. As a child, I never actually sat through the whole intro here because, you know, I was a kid. I always needed something to keep me busy, and this intro just wasn't doing that. Looking back now, I'd say I was really stupid for not enjoying the intro because this is now one of my favorite parts of this entire game. Showing the fact LittleBigPlanet is the place where everyone's dreams collectively gather is a really creative idea. See what I did there? If you've played these games, then you'll know this little area as the pod. It's our little hub area. You can do whatever you want here. Run, jump, you name it, you can do it.
I just had a look at your pod, and you might want to decorate it now. Make it home. Put a bit of your personality into it. Or something classy instead. Go nuts.
Welcome to pod customization. Any object you collect, you can place in the pod. Because of how simple-minded I am, the pod customization always boiled down to resizing random objects and things and then placing them all over this thing. I honestly believe I did that in every single game. The second the narrator told me about pod customization, I got hit with so many ideas in my brain that boiled down to turn the pod blue or ruin the frame rate. I absolutely love doing this shit. There's a little menu here where we have the basic stuff. Credits, sounds, etc. But something that I wasn't even expecting was a literal music player built into the game. The PS3 was revolutionary for this. Holy shit! I don't have many songs downloaded on the console, so here's some Call of Duty Zombies music. The next thing you can do is access the PS3 controller. This will lead you to the planet that houses the main story, custom levels, and your profile. I swear there was more to this, but the servers are shut down, so my dodgy memory is the only thing I have to go off of, which sucks. Let's check out the profile area.
A place full of facts and figures about you. How big?
Okay, never mind. Oh man, the community tab was so great. I really wish I could access that right now. I'll definitely be talking with the level creator later, but for now, let's just focus on some of the other aspects we have here. The game describes itself as being the place for creativity. There's not a single other game out there that allows you to be as creative as the original 2008 LittleBigPlanet. Except just over a year later, a game came out that said, yeah, we can be creative as well. The scenery here just gives me waves of nostalgia, and I absolutely adore it. I remember playing this game with friends and family so much back in the day. I shouldn't have this much nostalgia for something 15 years ago, but here we are. It's not something I could change. I don't think I'd want to change it though, because I absolutely love being able to look at this entire game with the absolute certainty that what I played was really good. I think one of the worst parts about these games is that it's so hard to access specific parts of this game, because if you try to do one thing the game isn't like, well, you'll just get a server error and a giant fuck you. It's the same reason I can't access any of the DLC anymore. The servers are offline and are therefore incapable of being accessed. I bought a shit ton of DLC for this game specifically, so the fact I can no longer access it is very disappointing. I guess my Sackbox TV will forever be stuck anywhere outside this game. The character customization aspect of this game was very basic for its time, but it was far from bad. You collect various customizables as you progress throughout the game, and I absolutely love making my character look really stupid. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a bipedal zebra with bunny ears that wears clothes. Nothing has to make sense here. It's all about doing whatever you want as long as it's age appropriate. There's that costume, then there's this one that makes you look really cool. Saying that immediately undermines my confidence. Don't worry though, we have plenty of other things we can talk about besides customizing the character. You can place stickers everywhere, and who doesn't like a good sticker now and again, huh? The word raw awful hasn't been said in eons. I saw a LOL sticker. Absolutely love this game. I think this game has a major issue with certain stickers just not appearing in the inventory. I only say this because in certain levels when I'd collect a sticker and immediately try to use it, it would be missing. It just wouldn't be there. That's exactly why this car looks as plain as it does. I couldn't stick something I didn't have on it. I don't ever recall this being an issue before, so I hope this wasn't something that came from it being updated really far down the road. You can also create your own stickers by taking photos of yourself. I didn't use this, but it's a photo mode before every game had one, so when you got this, you were grateful for it. You can also make stuff with the PlayStation Eye. I do indeed have a PlayStation Eye, but I couldn't find it. I have used this feature before though, so I do have some experience. It's just okay, nothing groundbreaking. Basically just allows you to make stickers using the camera and bring your living room into the world of Little Big Planet. That's it. Let's move on. In a separate tab, you can also place objects. These are stickers with depth, so models. They can also tank the frame rate, but that's part of the charm. Favorite object would have to be the glasses. I used to use these so often back in the day. You're actually able to stick these onto your character, so I used to make tons of outfits using them. I really believe I used to stick whatever I could onto my character. It wasn't about making them look good, it was about having fun. Too bad they're all gone now. As a matter of fact, everything's gone, I just realized. Save data, wiped. Trophies, gone. I mean, I'm not gonna complain that much. I'm here to re-experience the game, so I'm okay with this. Alright, I think it's time to talk about the game's levels now, shall we? So, all these levels are made by these beings called creator curators. They basically watch over this Little Big Planet while you're awake, making sure everything's all good and not having some random guy go around terrorizing people. I'll be going over each world since they're rather short. There's only 8 of them, so it shouldn't take too much time. The main point of these levels existing is to show you just what exactly you can accomplish with the level creator. The games that came afterwards would sorta move away from this concept because you can only do so much with strictly level creation tools. I do like how this game really wanted to hammer home just how good the level creator is. Nothing done here is impossible to create yourself. I know I probably couldn't make something like this, but it's really cool they made it sort of feel like a DIY. One thing to note really quickly is that this game has an amazing soundtrack, but I can't use any of it because I will get absolutely slammed hard with several copyright strikes. And you know, I think I'm okay with not having any. I am almost certain that this entire game's soundtrack is completely filled with copyrighted music. I was looking through the various tracks and I always thought that these songs were made specifically for this game. Boy was I sure wrong. Glad I figured that out sooner rather than later. My favorite song in this game is called Volver a Comenzar? Volver a Comenzar. I probably butchered that really hard. I won't be playing the song, but if you do want to look it up, then be my guest. I've heard that song so much at community levels in all the Little Big Planet games. I specifically remember this one where it was like a vacation type game, and it had that song blasting almost constantly. Can't play anymore, which really friggin' sucks, but what are you gonna do? Anyways, let's talk about the levels. So there's this little introduction level to the game where it just shows you a bunch of tutorials. These videos were always the greatest, and revisiting this just puts a huge smile on my face. The first creator we visit is the king. As you can see, all the levels in the areas are actually made by the creators themselves. That's kind of how game development works. Since these are introductory levels, they are extremely basic and don't have much to them. Humpty Dumpty shows up a lot, and I can't help but try to harass him every damn time. I've noticed just in this introductory world that the game does feel kinda jank. Sometimes your jumping feels off, or the game's auto layer switching can act up. I was still enjoying it, but the way the game does control hasn't aged the absolute greatest. The thing that has aged like fine wine is this specific tutorial here.
Now, occasionally you're going to get stuck. It's nothing to get upset about. Don't go hurling your controller at the cat, because it might throw something back and it'll only escalate and then... Oh. We'd like to say no little sack person is harmed during the playing of Little Big Planet. We'd like to say that.
I think the most memorable level to me that I always think about when I think about this game is the one with the skateboard. I'm not quite sure why I do, but I mean, hey, Humpty Dumpty gets absolutely destroyed. Should have been wearing protective gear. I say that, but I think my arms also need some attention. I should not be able to hold on to the skateboard for that long. The savannah area was alright. I really had a lot of issues with the physics here. I just couldn't fucking get up here. Then I realized I never had to exactly go that way. I game overed so many times here that I felt like I wasted at least 10 minutes of my life that I'll never get back once I figured it out. I forgot to mention this earlier, but one of the things that I think is the worst part of these games is the fact you absolutely need to have a friend to get certain cosmetics. They lock these behind puzzles that require a second or sometimes even 4 people. As you can see, I have 4 people right here in the room with me right now that I'm able to play this game with. It's the only real downside here, but it's a really cool thing that they have stuff catered to multiplayer. I just kind of think that it would have been better if that stuff was optional and you could unlock everything some other way. This level with the flaming bulls is the definition of jank. I had to try and maneuver my way through this to force the game to let me onto the platform. Absolutely love the Meerkat nightclub. Forgot this was even in the game. Are we sure this is for children? I remember the wedding levels used to scare the shit out of me when I was a wee kid. These guys look so uncanny, it kind of makes me uncomfortable. Look at this part here where they're all screaming when you jump on them. Jokes aside, I thought this area was really fun. Lots of little mini games, a horror section where the groom's dog gets abducted, and a Bonosaurus Rex. Not too crazy, just a lot of running while this massive thing chases you. The desert just had some of the worst levels in this game. I know I suck, but I feel like some of these just had awful designs. The one area where you break the law and break Uncle Jalapeno out of prison has you dealing with every type of bomb in the books. The impact bombs were just the most finicky thing to use. Sometimes you die for no reason. It just made no sense to me why something like that would even happen. In this world, we legitimately kill someone. The sheriff who was just doing his job is the villain here, and it's our job to put him out of his misery. We absolutely blew him to smithereens. I know I said these levels were the worst, but I did like the minecart sections. They were the most enjoyable things I got out of this world. I feel like I'm jumping all over the place now. Here we are in New York. This is my personal favorite world. I don't exactly have much to say about this though, because it was very short. I do, however, need to ask who the hell is running these construction sites? Why are these balls of literal fire rolling down the area? This is a literal hazard. I hope someone gets fired for this. This is the one portion of the game I really wish I had someone to play this with. I really wanted these cosmetics, but no. I need a second player. Well, you might be saying, why don't you just plug in a second controller? Well, this is my only working one, so the only thing I can do is suck it up. I thought controlling and bouncing off the vehicles were really cool. You also do a bit of racing, but again, no one's here to race with me, so I'll just win by default. Racing's no fun without competition. After jumping halfway around the world, we somehow get to Japan, where we are here to learn how to become stronger. Not sure how we can become stronger when we are already the strongest beings in existence, but whatever. This isn't the craziest world ever. It's mainly a parkour challenge where you kill some sushi, some ninjas, etc. There's this one part where there's these ninja stars coming down at you and you're supposed to dodge them. No idea why they have blood here. I swear this is a kid's game. So in order for us to become stronger, we need to free Sensei's cat. In order to do that, we need to kill a massive Oni. Seems normal. After freeing the cat, Sensei congratulates us and sends us all the way to India to get our own. The temple levels felt the exact same way I felt with the desert. The level designs weren't the worst, but I just didn't really like them all that much. I wish I could say more about this area, but I just sound like a broken record reiterating some of my complaints. We now have the final area, where we have to infiltrate the collector's bunker. This area takes place within Russia. I'm just going all over the world at this point. I actually really thought the final area was a really well done world. It had tons of platforming challenges and obstacles that weren't used very often in other levels. This made it a bit harder than it should have for me, but considering I'm a grown man, I got through it eventually. So it turns out the collector took the time to abduct all my friends I've made throughout my journey, and I'm gonna be the hero of this story and put a stop to this bad guy once and for all and bring the world of LittleBigPlanet to peace with the power of friendship. Don't worry, Freddy Fazbear and these other guys, I'll definitely save you. Yeah, I kinda steamrolled this guy. For a main antagonist, he went down quite easily. He also had this one move where he slammed his fist on the ground. He kinda felt like a normal enemy, but sprayed like balls and stuff everywhere. I guess it's kinda the extent of what a final boss could do with these tools. It was alright, but nothing really to write home about. So his whole motivation for kidnapping people is because of the fact he had no friends. He collects things, hence his name, The Collector, and doesn't share because he's all alone. Me and you too, pal. I wish I had some friends that were willing to play this old-ass game with me. Of course, though, because this is a children's game, everyone gathers around and welcomes him into the inner circle and become the Little Big Planet. One last thing you can unlock are bonus survival levels. These don't net you any bonus rewards to my knowledge. Most of these levels just want you to survive as long as you can to earn points. I really enjoyed the one in the Japan area where you must platform across a bunch of Daruma dolls while on a time limit. These little minigames are nothing too big, but are some little time wasters to have fun with. So before we conclude this game, let's talk a little bit about the level creation tools. I'm not the hugest level creation guy out there, but these tools definitely allow you to create some incredible things. If you're feeling spooky, you can make the levels completely dark. Just in time for Halloween. You can place a bunch of objects around, tweak them, change backgrounds, music, etc. There's a lot you can actually do in this level creator. They obviously got better in other games, but you can do a lot with these tools. Just you wait till they add water. Whenever you finish making your level, you can name it, change the icon, and publish it to the community. Oh yeah, scratch that. The community section was a massive part of this game's replayability. It's not necessarily needed, but the game was built around being able to create and share levels with the community around the world, and the fact that the servers are forever shut down just makes something like this impossible to experience ever again. I can tell you that most of my playtime on this game was 100% spent mostly on playing community-made levels. Technically speaking, all of these levels are forever gone unless people have them downloaded, or the ones who created them still have access to it. It just makes me very sad, but Sony won't reverse their decision and help bring these games back to life, so complaining won't really do much. I absolutely love these games. These aren't the biggest games to ever exist, but they're 100% worth your time just to experience them. The amount of creativity that was put just into this game alone because of the boundaries set by limiting themselves to only using the level creation tools is nothing shy of incredible. While replaying this game, I had a smile on my face the entire time, even during the parts I wasn't the most fond of. I owe a lot of the reason I even started playing video games to these games specifically. There are a plethora of other games I have played over the years that I would have never experienced if it weren't for the spark that LittleBigPlanet had lit for me. After replaying this game, I'm considering replaying LittleBigPlanet 2. That game destroyed my original PS3, so it has a lot of hype to live up to. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy my content and like the stuff I produce, then please like, comment, and subscribe, as it helps me tremendously and allows me to get noticed in the YouTube algorithm. I hope you all have an amazing day or a great rest of your week, or whenever you're watching this video. I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.